Welcome to the COMC Community Spotlight Show, presented by the great folks at Central Ozarks Medical Center, where your health is their mission. So Steve Wapnick lives at the Lake of the Ozarks here, former Major League pitcher. And so we've had him on previous shows. We kind of talked earlier, Steve, how you grew up being a football player, had a heart issue, had to go play baseball. You weren't very good, but you kind of was a late bloomer. In college, you got better. You got drafted, went to the major leagues. Your first game as a major leaguer was at Boston's Fenway Park. Great memories there, I guess.
Oh, incredible.
Yeah. First major league mound you stepped on was old Tiger Stadium in Detroit. And on the last show we had you on, at the end of your major league career, you got hurt. You got hurt in spring training. You'd been cruising along pretty good the previous two seasons. Looked like you might have a pretty good major league career, 10, 15 years, something like that. You never know. But then you get hurt and never could quite come back from that injury, right? First of all, while you're dealing with that, while you're still in baseball, trying to hang on in the major leagues despite, an arm injury, what's going through your mind? What are you dealing? What's the battle going on, inside your head of how to get through this, how to beat this? Do you remember that?
I think really the battle, it wasn't so much a battle. The battle is a little bit of doubt. Can I come back from it? But the biggest battle was just, how do I get back quickly?
Yeah.
Because we know our time is limited.
Yeah.
And the gifts that we have to get us to a level of the major leagues is so limited that you just want to get there quickly. So that's the battle of, how do I manage my doubt and how do I manage just how quickly I can come back effectively.
Was there a fear in there? At some point for every pro athlete, you reach that time when you can't play anymore, and you got to figure out what to do next, right? For a lot of athletes, they go into coaching or managing baseball or whatever. Was there a fear in your mind as you're trying to fight through this of, what am I going to do next? If this is over, what am I going to do?
Yeah, I don't think at that time I thought it was going to be over.
Right.
So I didn't have to face that. I know when it actually did become over, I already kind of had a game plan, although the game plan changed quite a bit. But yeah, so that part of it, I wasn't dealing with it on a day-to-day basis.
Okay. So when you did figure out it's over.
Yes.
Right. Okay. No more professional baseball for me. I can't do it. Where were you then? What were you going through at that point?
So when it ended, it was my choice, which was kind of cool that I was able to say, no, I'm going to go live my life now.
And not them telling you, you suck, get out of here.
Yeah, because that had already happened a few times. So it was finally me getting to say, okay, I'm going to step away. It was on my terms. And in my whole process, I hadn't finished my degree in college.
Yeah.
So I wanted to go back to college. I thought what I wanted to do was teach and coach baseball, and that was my goal. And as I started to pursue that, my wife and I had a discussion one day that we had our oldest son, Jason, who's a teacher here at Camden Middle School, but he was young, and she said, I just need you to get a job. We need you to be working. So instead of getting that teaching credential, which will take another year, just graduate and find a job. And I agreed with her.
Yeah.
So that's what I did.
So real life hit you in the face, basically.
Yeah.
Okay, I'd like to do that, but we can't afford to do that. I need to get a job.
Yes.
Okay, so you've been a baseball player your whole life. What did you decide you were qualified to do, or what did you decide to jump into?
Yeah. The first thing is I looked at all the classes I had taken and figured out that if I got a degree in business with an emphasis in real estate and urban land economics, I could graduate in about 2 semesters, whatever it was. So that's the route I took. Once I graduated, I had no idea what I wanted to do. I still don't. So I just started interviewing with all different industries. And I had a good friend of mine that was in the pharmaceutical industry, and that's kind of what led me to doing a pharmaceutical industry for so long.
Really? And that's what you did after baseball?
I did, yeah, for about 30 years.
Wow. Did you enjoy that?
At times I did. It was a lot of fun. And as healthcare changed and access to providers changed considerably, it wasn't as fun as it once was. It was all about helping people, and that kind of changed.
Yeah, yeah.
So,
well, that's because you had a heart for that, I guess, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. So, and you have said, you know, when you were going through the roughest of times, at the end of your major league career and your injuries and stuff like that, your faith and your family helped you through that. How was that? How did they help you through that?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing was knowing that God has a plan much bigger than I'm aware of. And although I think that I'm directing my path, knowing that God is actually directing my path, and what I'm responsible for is working as hard as I can and staying as focused as I can in order for Him to direct that path.
Okay. So when you look back at your life now, when you got out of baseball and you're brokenhearted, I'm guessing, you look back and you see what God was doing in your life? Or how does that work?
So I was chronically shy. As a kid growing up, chronically shy. I could not have this conversation.
We couldn't be doing this.
Oh, no, not at all. So through baseball, I was able to meet people, have to interact with people. As a professional athlete, you're signing autographs, you're talking to people. And so I see the path that Christ had for me as far as just shaping me into the man that He wants me to become. It didn't happen overnight, but it was a path that I knew God directed.
Right. Well, how cool is that? Okay, so we're talking with Steve Wapnick, former major league pitcher, lives at the lake now. We'll have to find out if he can fish. I don't know. I might have to learn from him. So don't go anywhere. We'll be back with more with Steve right here on the COMC Community Spotlight Show. At COMC, your health is our mission. Central Ozarks Medical Center offers 3 OBGYNs at the Osage Beach Clinic and 2 pediatricians with same-day appointments available. At COMC, our doors are open to everyone with 5 primary care locations conveniently located across the Ozarks. COMC for the best medical, dental, and behavioral health care. Get more info on how COMC can help you at centralozarks.org. COMC, where your health is our mission. If it's happening at the lake, it's happening on Lake TV. From the polar plunge to festivals, parades, aquapalooza, and boat shows, Lake TV has it all. Even the granddaddy of them all, the shootouts. If you're looking for places to party, things to do, or even a new home to move into, you've gotta love Lake TV.
Don't miss out on your favorite show. Watch Lake TV on demand on YouTube, Roku, and Fire TV.
Welcome back to the COMC Community Spotlight Show, talking with former Major League Baseball pitcher Steve Wapnick, living here at the lake now. Grew up in Southern California, pitched for the Toronto Blue Jays, Chicago White Sox. Actually, is that right?
Detroit Tigers.
Oh, the Detroit Tigers, that's right.
Yeah.
Okay, the Tigers. I get the Tigers and the White Sox mixed up.
That's right.
Up there. Actually played with Bo Jackson and Sammy Sosa, among others. Carlton Fisk, one of the classic home runs of all time in a Major League Baseball World Series Game 6 for the Red Sox, I think. Okay, so you are very involved, you and your wife, very involved in local FCA, Fellowship of Christian Athletes, with Kathy Wiesen, a great local ministry here in town. Why is that special to you?
So I came to know Jesus through Fellowship of Christian Athletes. When I was at Fresno State, I think it was my senior year, FCA, our coach brought us all together in the stands, and FCA presented the gospel to me. It's the first time I really heard the gospel.
Really?
They started ministering to me directly. And so I just had a passion for Fellowship of Christian Athletes. We've always supported FCA. When we were in Colorado, we lived in Colorado for a long time. I was on the board there. And then when we got out here, Kathy asked if we might be interested in helping out their board. And so we've come along and just glad to be part of it.
And FCA is very coach-driven, right? I mean,
it is.
I think a lot of people think of the huddle groups where kids get together in schools, and that's led by kids, I guess. But a big part of the FCA ministry is to coaches. Yes. Why is that? What's the important thing about coaches?
So it's all about leadership. You think about a family structure, and a lot of times where the man has so much influence over their family, and here the coaches have so much influence over the players. And if they're grounded in Christ, if they're excited about Christ isn't bottled up in us, it shines through. And so as a coach, as they're shining through their relationship, their comfort, their confidence in Christ, the kids, the athletes see that, and hopefully they're drawn to that as well.
Well, in today's society with, the breakdown of the family, and a lot of dads are not there, a lot of times the coaches kind of become the surrogate dad.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So that's a powerful thing. So I read in your bio that your dad actually owned like a bait and tackle store or something?
Yeah.
Where was this?
So in Southern California, his first store he owned, fishing tackle store, was called Bob Sands, after my older sister Bobby and my younger sister Sandy.
Okay.
And so he did that for a number of years. Then someone offered him some money and he sold that. And then he opened up another store that was Steve's Tackle Shop, which was named after me. But most of our fishing we did back then was all saltwater fishing, a little bit of bass fishing.
Yeah.
But for the most part, we were always
like in the off the coast in California.
Yeah, we had a little 20-foot Gulf Stream that we'd take out maybe once or twice a month, and then we'd go out to San Diego or Oxnard, and we'd fish tuna in San Diego, rock cod in Oxnard, and just, we were constantly on the water.
So do you like fishing here at the lake then? Yeah. Have you gotten back out on the water, or is this like small potatoes since you used to do deep sea fishing?
I honestly, I love fishing, but I don't fish that often here. I don't know why. I have no idea why I don't. I get invited. I just haven't done much of it, although I love fishing.
Yeah, well, that's cool. I know. It's funny because when they do the big bass bash, every year, those guys in one fish catch more than I've caught my whole life. And it's not because I haven't tried, I'm just not good at it.
Yeah.
I guess that's one of those things that you have a knack for or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't have that knack.
So, former major league pitcher, do you still coach baseball at all, or did you ever coach baseball?
So I coached for a number of years. Probably most of my adult life. Once I finished my playing career, I coached. When we first moved here, my son is coaching freshman baseball at Camden High School. So I went out a little bit, helped there, and I'm thinking now that I'm not working, if they'll have me, I'd love to go out and help them again.
Well, there you go. Yeah. Let's see. There's an offer, local baseball teams, and I think all the schools do baseball around here, right?
Yeah.
So in Camden, it has a really good program.
They do.
Do you still give any private lessons or anything like that?
I haven't since we've been here. I always felt like it was giving back to the community. So a lot of people will charge for lessons. I've reached out to some organizations that do lessons, just offering my service. But I think sometimes people think it's competition where they don't know what my heart is. It's just sharing a gift that I have. Yeah. So I haven't done private lessons, but it's something that
seems to be a good opportunity, parents.
Maybe.
Absolutely. How would somebody get in touch with you if they're interested in having you help them?
The easiest way actually is maybe go through my son, Jason Wapnick, at Camden Middle School.
Okay. Yeah. Well, there you go, Jason Wapnick. What advice would you give to kids, young athletes who want to, be a professional at some point? What advice?
Yeah, I say just grind. You got to work hard. Don't ever give up on yourself. A lot of coaches, a lot of parents, we give up on kids because when they're 12, they're not like Jimmy, who's 12 and 6'3". So just keep believing in yourself, keep grinding, and just honestly work hard, because that's something we can control. Yeah. It's not something someone else controls. I control my effort.
Yeah, absolutely. And if you haven't grinded, as you put it, at some point, you're going to have to grind at some point if you're going to make it. Yeah. So he's Steve Wapnick, former major league pitcher. Thank you so much for sharing all the stories. Appreciate it very much.
Thank you for having me.
You bet. And thank you for joining us for Lake TV's Community Spotlight Show.
You're watching watching Lake TV.